No one in Maple Ridge, Washington, ever forgot the sound. It was 3:14 a.m., a quiet neighborhood wrapped in fog, when a sudden 3 knocks echoed through an entire cul-de-sac. 3 slow, methodical knocks. When residents opened their doors, no one was there. Not a person, not a car, only a small wooden box sitting perfectly centered on their welcome mats. Inside each box was the same thing, a photograph of a man no one recognized, and 3 words burned into the back: "He knows you." Within 48 hours, one man in the town vanished without a trace. And here's the most terrifying part. Security cameras captured everything, except him. Maple Ridge is one of those American towns you see on postcards. Pine-lined streets, perfect lawns, hushed evenings, a place where the biggest mystery might be who keeps stealing garden pumpkins every Halloween. But locals always whispered one strange thing about Maple Ridge. The nights were too quiet. The wind felt dampened. Dogs rarely barked. Even passing cars sounded oddly muffled. Most people never thought much about it, until the knocks began. When the police collected the boxes, they discovered something immediately disturbing. Every photograph was slightly different. The man's face angle changed. His expression changed. In some, he looked calm. In others, he looked terrified. The metadata on the photos revealed different times and different dates, meaning these pictures were taken across years. But the same man appeared in every single one. Detectives gave him a placeholder name, John Quiet, because none of the photos had sound, and none of the cameras that recorded the knocks ever captured footsteps, voices, or motion. John Quiet simply appeared and disappeared. Parentheses. The only resident who didn't call police that night was Strong Daniel Rourke, a 39-year-old auto mechanic, known for being private but friendly. He didn't report a box. He didn't ask questions. He simply went to work as if nothing happened. But the next morning, co-workers noticed something off. Daniel kept looking over his shoulder, jumping at the smallest noise, flinching whenever the garage door rattled. When his boss asked if he was okay, Daniel said, "Someone found me." Block quote. No one knew what that meant. By 4 p.m., he walked out of the shop, and no one ever saw him again. Detectives pulled security footage from surrounding businesses and homes. Here's what they found. At Strong, 4:17 p.m., Daniel was seen walking quickly toward his house. 2 minutes later, 3 cameras caught the exact same glitch. A flicker, like a recording dropped a few frames. When the footage resumed, Daniel was gone. Not walked out of frame, not obstructed, just gone. As if the world blinked and he vanished during the blink. Detectives initially assumed camera error until they synchronized the footage timestamps. All 3 cameras glitched at the exact same millisecond. This was no malfunction. Inside Daniel's house, police expected the usual clues: notes, journals, phone logs. Instead, they found something else: a hidden room behind the bedroom closet, freshly built, soundproofed. Inside the room was only one object: small table with thick black cloth draped over it. On top of the cloth, a stack of photographs, dozens of them, all of Daniel, taken from behind bushes, across parking lots, through windows. Someone had been watching him for years. But the most chilling detail, Daniel was holding a hammer in the most recent photo, taken just 1 day before he vanished. He looked directly into the camera, as if he knew who was taking it. But the reflection in his eyes, zoomed and enhanced, revealed something impossible. A man with no facial features, smooth skin, no eyes, no mouth, just nothing. Inside the room, police found scraps of burned paper, pieces from a hidden journal Daniel tried to destroy. Forensics reconstructed 6 readable lines. He moves when nobody listens. Silence is his doorway. Don't acknowledge the knocks. Sound keeps him out, but the quiet invites him. He's been behind me before. This was no intruder Daniel could describe. This was something, or someone, he believed operated inside silence itself. Searching deeper, analysts noticed a horrifying pattern across the town. Every person who received a box lived within 900 feet of Daniel. He was the center. Whatever this was, whatever was coming for him. Detectives mapped the locations of the boxes and found something even more disturbing. They formed a perfect circle around Daniel's house. Perfect, measured down to the foot. No human stalker could pull that off in complete darkness without being seen. Unless they didn't walk, unless they didn't need light, unless they didn't make noise. A federal audio forensic team visited Maple Ridge after learning about the noise abnormalities. Using acoustic mapping, they realized something shocking. There was a sound void around Daniel's neighborhood. No bird calls recorded, no traffic hum, no distant dogs. It was as if a bubble of silence had been placed over the region. The lead technician said, "It's like something is swallowing sound out here." Residents reported strange sensations, pressure in the ears, headaches, the feeling someone was watching them from behind, the sense that silence felt heavier. Then, one witness came forward with a chilling detail. A 7-year-old boy named Micah told police. A tall man stood in the street last night. He was smiling, but he had no noise. When the officer asked what that meant, Micah said, "His clothes didn't make sounds. His feet didn't crunch the snow. He just stared, and when I screamed, he tilted his head like he was learning." The boy then said something that made the detective freeze. Block quote. "He looked like the man in the boxes, but older." Below quote. Detectives searched Daniel's house again and found one more object they missed. An old cassette recorder under his bed. Only one tape was inside, labeled in shaky handwriting. "He doesn't like when I talk." The tape was only 8 minutes long, but the final 30 seconds, they chilled investigators to the core. You hear Daniel whispering urgently, block quote, "If you're hearing this, he's already close. He watches through silence. He hates noise. Please don't let him in." Then comes the knocking. 3 slow knocks, identical to every box night. Daniel screams, "No, no, no, don't be quiet, don't." And then something impossible happens. Every sound cuts out, not gradually, instantly. The tape recorder keeps running silently until it hits the mechanical stop. And that was it. The last known moment Daniel Rourke was alive. 2 months later, hikers 11 miles from Maple Ridge reported seeing something strange. A small wooden box, half buried under pine needles. Inside it was a single new photograph. A man standing far in the distance. Zooming in revealed the truth. It was Daniel, alive, or recently alive, looking over his shoulder, terrified. And behind him, emerging from the shadows, was the same faceless figure. Only now, he wasn't faceless. He had Daniel's face, freshly copied, perfectly formed. Down to every wrinkle, every hair, every detail. As if silence had consumed Daniel. And the thing wearing him was now learning how to become him. Authorities sealed the area, declared it unsafe. But the residents of Maple Ridge say they still hear it. The wrongness in the air. No birds, no footsteps, no dogs. Just the quiet. Open space, deeper than it should be. And once in a while, 3 slow knocks in the middle of the night. Always followed by the same nightmare. A man standing at the end of the street, smiling with someone else's face, waiting for the world to go quiet again.